Hello, this is Gary at Jack Raven Bushcraft. Thank you for watching our video. This week I'm going to talk a little around pruning cuts. Within Bushcraft we have the overarching mantra, philosophy, rule of leave no trace, and I would add into that cause no harm. However, there are situations where we need to harvest materials from the woodland. So an example might be that we need to get ourselves some greenwood, maybe a length of hazel that we can use to suspend a pot over a fire. So in those circumstances, in those times where we do need to harvest materials, it's important that we do so in such a way as to reduce our impact, to reduce the harm that we're going to cause from the tree that we are harvesting from. Trees deal with wounds, with injury, in a different way than animals. So trees aren't able to heal in the same way that animals are able to heal. What they do instead is isolate a wound. So they put a chemical barrier around that wound to prevent infection from getting in. So it's called compartmentalization of decay in trees, often referred to as code-it. It was an idea put forward by a guy called Alex Shigo. So if you want to find out more from that, there's the information for you to go away and Google it on. In essence, we have two broad pruning cuts that we might need to take. So might need to saw something, prune a branch that's growing out horizontally like this. And so in the past, what tree surgeons, arborists, gardeners and so on would do is they would cut here as close in to the main stem as they could possibly get, because it would look a little neater. But that's quite a big wound. It's quite a difficult wound for the tree to be able to recover from. It's a difficult wound to be able to isolate. So what we'll do instead is we're going to cut about here. So I'm leaving a kind of a stub about maybe 3-4 centimeters or so long on the branch here, and that's going to be an easier thing for the tree to deal with. Now if I just start sawing from the underside like this, what will happen is as the branch kind of drops down like that under its own weight, the saw's going to get stuck. If I saw from the top, that's not going to happen. But what could potentially happen then is that we get a tear, and we tear the bark off on the underside of this main stem. And again, that's quite a difficult thing for the tree to be able to isolate, so it's going to let infection in. So what we're going to do, in fact, is a little bit of both. So I'm going to do an undercut initially. Right, so that's about, yeah, that 3-4 centimeters in from the main stem. Right, so I've gone about a quarter, maybe a third the way through. Now what I'm going to do is go outwards a little bit, another centimetre or so, and now I could saw from the top. Like so. And now if the branch should drop down under its own weight, there. So it can only tear as far as that first undercut that I put in. So that's going to prevent it from tearing the bark off on that main stem. So that's the branch off. We do have, though, the little undercut there still as well. So I'm just going to go back to that spot and just tidy this cut up. Like so. So it did take a little more work. So I did an undercut and a cut from the top. But as I say, what this does it allows the tree to be able to isolate that wound and to recover from it. So earlier I said that one of the reasons where I might want to harvest some greenwood is to make a pot hanger, and so here I am next to a vertical hazel stem. So this would be an ideal stem if I wanted to make a pot hanger. So when I'm pruning this, the theory is very similar to as if I was taking a horizontal branch off. And so again, if I just kind of start sawing here from the back of the stem, as it kind of leans that direction, what I could end up doing is tearing off the bark on the outside. So again, what I want to do is put in a cut initially, like so. Again, I'm heading for about a quarter of the way through, or so, something like that. And now I'm going to just go about a centimetre above it again, like that. And now I can cut from the back. And as my stem starts to topple forward here, it isn't able to, because I've got this stop cut in, it's not able to tear that bark off. So I can cut through. There's my stem, just lean it up in this handy little Y. Right, so, but again, I just need to tidy this cut up a little bit. So I'll move backwards a wee bit. Now I'm going to put a cut in on a diagonal, and I'm going to have the diagonal so that it's running away from the actual coppice stool itself. So this way, if any rain lands on top of it, or not if, when some rain lands on top of it, it's going to run this way into the ground and hopefully not start to pool up in that coppice stool where it could allow rot to get in. So just putting in that diagonal cut now. What I'm left with now is a small stub protruding out of this hazel stool with the cut on it so that the rain will shed this direction. So this is giving this particular hazel stem, hazel stool, the best possible opportunity to recover from the harm that I've just inflicted upon it. Hopefully that is something you found useful, something that you could take with you on your own bushcraft adventures. I will endeavour to get some more content out next week. You can make sure you don't miss out on that. You can subscribe either to our YouTube channel or to our blog, both of which are Jack Raven Bushcraft. In the meantime, take care.